You're watching ESPN's Bracket Builder Week.
Welcome to Big Monday, presented by Verizon. It's part of Bracket Builder Week on ESPN. Allen Fieldhouse, Lawrence, Kansas. And the Jayhawks will try to build a #1 seed in the NCAA bracket as tonight they host Oklahoma in a Big 12 showdown. When you take a look at this conference, it is the deepest conference in the country this year. Take a look at Oklahoma State. They beat TCU tonight. They are still 3 games under 500. And at the top, the Jayhawks with the Sooners in hot pursuit. Good evening, everybody, and welcome. I'm Brett Musburger and Fran Fraschilla alongside with Holly Rowe. The Sooners seeking their first win at Kansas since '93. For the Jayhawks, it's unbelievable. 9 straight Big 12 titles. And I want to tell you something. If they play like they did Saturday, Fran, against Texas, they're going to saddle up for their 10th ring.
You're exactly right, Brent. In fact, we saw glimpses Saturday night of why this could be a special march around here.
So what do the Sooners have to do to stay in this one tonight?
Really important. No transition baskets. Eliminate the paint touches. They got to keep Ryan Spangler, their horse, inside, out of foul trouble, and then avoid Kansas's scoring runs. No 8-0 runs, no 10-2 runs.
There are a couple of really talented freshmen on this Kansas team, Fran.
And one of them turned 19 yesterday, Andrew Wiggins. These two guys are special. Andrew Wiggins leading the team in scoring. He's likely to be the all-time leading scoring freshman as a Jayhawk. And JoJo Embiid, the big fella who rapidly improves week to week, getting it done on the defensive end.
A friend, as you well know, diamonds are a girl's best friend. And Holly Rowe, there's a lot of bling around here.
Well, let's put it in perspective. I think diamonds have been the Jayhawks' best friend because in the last 9 years, they have 9 rings to show for it. Guys, tonight is a special night. Bill Self said, how many times do you get a chance to win a championship at home? A win tonight will clinch at least a share of that championship. They like to say around here, without pressure, you can't have diamonds. 5 new starters to start the season, and they're in a position to win it all tonight.
All right, Holly, you know, friend, when I first saw that, I thought maybe 9 guys had proposed to her.
And why not?
Exactly.
She's a catch.
There's Coach Bill Self. Another sellout crowd on hand here in Lawrence, Kansas. You know, it's interesting, Fran. Oklahoma has started the same 5 all season. Only has missed a game. And, of course, we talk about Wiggins and we talk about Embiid, but let us not overlook Wayne Selden. Very good freshman.
His career high came in the first conference game of the season in Norman, where he racked up 24 points.
The other thing that I should point out about that Oklahoma starting 5, all 5 averaging double figures also.
That's right, the only team in the country to accomplish that.
How are you enjoying it so far, folks? This is one of the great venues, not just in college basketball, but all of sport. A little bit like Wrigley Field, one of those old antique stadiums. So much fun to come here. And the Jayhawks have got the first possession. They'll come through Ellis, number 34.
Brent, they almost always go inside early, and especially tonight, they have a size advantage.
Just on cue, Fran. There it is. Embiid toughs it home with that size advantage.
Not that hard to figure out when you know what your strength is as a team.
The Sooners will try to shoot well here in the early going so they don't fall out of it early as the Texas Longhorns did on Saturday afternoon in this building.
Oh, this is a very good three-point shooting team, Oklahoma.
Open look outside, but an offensive rebound, huge, and from behind, Ellis makes him pay as he swats it out of bounds and knocks it away from Cameron Clark.
One of the things Oklahoma started out doing was try to get Embiid away from the basket. Spangler, a pick and pop guy at times.
Clark again. There it is.
Outstanding shooting team. Cameron Clark in the mid-range. Very, very good.
This is the youngster Wiggins giving it up. It's Selden. This is Stark, the veteran point guard. They come in now to the smaller Ellis inside with that spin move. And Embiid, too big, 2 field goals.
Well, that's a mismatch, Brent. Spangler came to double the ball out of Ellis's hands, and Embiid just got Jordan Woodard pushed underneath the rim.
This is Hield. Kick it back outside to Clark. Clark comes over the top, off the front of the iron. One and done. And here come the Jayhawks. Wiggins spin move, lane, knocked away. Good defense.
Watch Embiid. He's got Jordan Woodard, the point guard. Watch Spangler come and double this. And when he doubles, Woodard gets inside, but it really doesn't matter.
I thought that it was good defense. Let me correct myself. That was a foul. And that foul was on Buddy Hield as he went spinning in the lane. Our officials tonight, Mike Stewart, Tom O'Neill, Duke Edsel, veteran crew here tonight in Lawrence.
Brent, in the Big 12, there are so many mid-sized teams that Oklahoma matches up well with, because they essentially play a 4-guard lineup. Kansas, unfortunately, if you're a Sooner, not one of those teams.
Woodard brought the ball up. Spangler steps away. And now Hield had missed from the outside, and the ball goes over. The Sooners have got to be careful here. Sluggish start, Fran. Similar to what the Longhorns did when it got to be about 8-8, right up around 10, and then suddenly Jayhawks took off.
Well, no question, Brent. You have to make jump shots against this Kansas team. You're not going to get much in the paint. Oklahoma capable of doing that, but not so far.
Embiid comes baseline, and a foul is called. Now it'll be Embiid's turn at the free throw line.
This is good basketball by Bill Self's team. He knows he's got an advantage, and he's going right at Spangler and Clark.
Clark picked up the foul on that one. The Sooners have started off 1 of 5 from the field. I'm not going to do it here.
Got a little Boomer Sooner in here. How'd they get in
Shock.
here?
Jayhawk
How'd they
crowd
sneak in?
reacted. That's 5 points for Embiid in the early going. Wiggins hit 1 of 2 at the free throw line. So the freshman that Fran told you about staked the Jayhawks to an early lead.
Kansas very able to switch. There's a double in the post.
Nothing easy. Ellis was all over the shooter. Kansas basketball. There was no daylight because of Perry Ellis's defense that time.
Overall this season, Brent, you like Buddy Hield, good player?
Absolutely.
Okay, Andrew Wiggins started on him, and then on the switch, Perry Ellis took him. 6'8", 6'8".
Wiggins has been impressive defensively every time we've seen him.
No question.
Spangler did a very good job of fronting Embiid that time. And so Wiggins, though, from outside, burns him at the perimeter. And it's a 6-0 Jayhawk run. And it's shades of what happened to the Longhorn. Woodard, ball fake. Got a shooter's roll on that one. Had daylight before the fake, actually. Brought the defender to him.
He's a good, young-looking freshman. He's had a terrific year for Lon Kruger, young man from Edmond Memorial. By the way, same high school that produced Bill Self.
Selden outside with the 3-ball.
He lit Oklahoma up in the first game. And right now you're seeing Kansas, everybody's touching the ball.
Woodard comes inside. So there's a team foul called against the Jayhawks as we head to our first timeout. And it was on Tharp. It is 11-4 the Jayhawks. Let's take you back to Saturday. It was the dunk of the day. It was Tariq Black for the Jayhawks. Watch this. Now, Fran, take us to the sideline, my friend.
Well, watch the bench celebration here, Brent. This is terrific. Now, anytime you have a sideline bench celebration, you got to have a couple get-back guys to keep everybody on the floor. Watch number 1, Wayne Selden. He can't get on the court, so he's going to go misdirection on his teammates, come out the backside. Watch the leap now into the arms of Nico Roberts. Good catch. And then watch Nadir Tharp, number 10. He's going to finish it off with the robo move. And you talk about guys being happy for their teammate. Pretty good bench celebration.
Indeed. They crushed the Longhorns 85-54 in that game. Now they lead Oklahoma 11-4. Here's Spangler putting it down on Embiid. Going to drive inside on him.
I thought Spangler outthought himself that time, and you see how good Embiid is at not leaving his feet.
Ellis down low with the big fella Embiid out high. Ellis had room to maneuver.
Well, no question, Brent. He really can operate well inside as well, Perry Ellis.
Sooners in early trouble, but a foul.
Yeah, this is smart basketball by Bill Self. They pounded the ball inside to Ellis and Embiid and playing off of them from inside out right now.
And speaking of Ellis, he picked up the foul, and so Woodard will take it out of bounds here for the Sooners, and the Jayhawks show a little pressure as Frank Mason, point guard, checks in, defended the inbounds pass, and it's Cousins off the bench. And Cousins misfires, and another rebound for the Jayhawks. That's Jamari Traylor who checked in. Oklahoma is now 2 of 9 here in the early game.
That's something Bill Self would be pleased with because the defense was outstanding against Texas.
Wiggins, so smooth. Comes baseline.
How about that, Brent? He starts making that mid-range shot. Forget about it.
You know, you talked about Woodard, by the way, was fouled as Mason goes down. You talked about no runs. Oh, we've got another 6-0 run already.
Exactly. That's something that's going to concern Lon Kruger. When you come on the road in a place like this, you got to keep the crowd out of it by being really good in your execution, scoring some baskets.
Jalon Hornby checks in off the Sooner bench. And Coach Kruger now will see if he can find some shooters. Frank Booker, the freshman, number 1, also out on the floor. Catch and shoot and knock it down that time, Cameron Clark.
Well, that first game they played, Cameron Clark knocked down 32.
That's his first field goal. Let me check that. That was his second. That's Clark at that point.
See, if you're Spangler here, you can afford to play a little bit behind.
Here's Wiggins again off the dribble. Pull-up jump shot. Didn't stay down. Traylor saves the ball. Selden has it. Crowd appreciates the hustle. Here's Wiggins again. Deep 3. Not this time. And rebound battle is won by Hornby. Hornbeck tried to get a transition basket. Jayhawks got back, but over in the corner, it's Clark again, and now he's got 6 points here. He's 3 for 4 from the field and keeping him in this game.
He is, Brent. He's one of the best 17-foot jump shooters in the Big 12. Really having a good senior year.
Selden on the drive, has it stripped away, turns it over. Clark off a fake, puts it down on the deck, and it didn't stay down. Winds up in the hands of Tart Black. At the other end, it's Selden again.
And that's what Spangler does. He's going to clean the glass.
Clark, open right baseline. There is Spangler going underneath. I think they got him for inside pushing on that rebound, and so he'll take a break right now. DJ Bennett will check in, and Buddy Hield returns, and looks like Tyler Neal is coming in. So Coach Kruger using a lot of players here in the early going, but weathered a little bit of a storm here, Fran, and you know, 15-8 doesn't sound like it's good, but they've put together a little bit of a nice surge here.
Well, they really have it. You see 13 minutes to go and a half. Ron Kruger going to use that 12-minute timeout in addition to this minute to rest some of those starters.
Little pick and roll. Bennett bounces off the defender, off the miss, and the block's hand. Frankamp out there for the Jayhawks. He's number 23. Got the ball. Good spot up shooter on the outside. Missed the long ball that time, and it's going to be a foul down there on the inside. I think it was Hornbeck against the Sooners again. Absolutely.
Sooner bench thought it was on Wiggins, but Hornbeck, a little too much contact. Watch Hornbeck now. He's going to do his best to shield Wiggins. And right there, they got him for that little bump.
Ball inbound. Wiggins, still plenty of time. Pull up Jay. And Booker puts it on the deck here for the Sooners.
Oklahoma has weathered the storm, but now they need a few baskets.
Oh, Hield's wide open. No foul called. Unbelievable defense that time by Traylor.
And I thought Hield just has to get the 2 points there. No reason to go circus on that move.
The other end is knocked away from Traylor, picked up by the Sooners. Spot up three, no. Off Wiggins and tracks it down the corner.
Kansas very fortunate, Brent. Oklahoma has given away a number of opportunities to cut into this lead.
And that's Jayhawk bench is not producing anything offensively, and so I see that Embiid and Selden and Tharp along with Ellis. So the starters are getting ready to check back into this game.
I don't think Oklahoma's taking advantage of the fact that the crowd's really not in this game right now.
Hield is cut off by Wiggins, and a foul is going to be called.
Foul number 22, Andrew Wiggins. That's his first personal foul.
This a moment ago was this Traylor block.
Yeah, Hield's trying to dunk it instead of just trying to get the 2. But you gotta love what Jabari Traylor's done. Good role player all season long.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Verizon. Starting now, you're getting more on the all-new More Everything plan. It's powerful. And in part by Hyundai. New thinking, new possibilities. And Diet Dew, the only diet with dew in it.
Silver Lake High School, 40 miles west, home of the Golden Eagles. From here, and a young man known as Lonnie was a terrific all-around athlete. There he is, folks. You know, he was Lon Kruger. Later went first to Kansas State, up the road to Manhattan. Trophy case remembers all of his accomplishments. Multi-sport star. You know, he was a terrific baseball player also at Kansas State. And Holly Rowe He did everything over there at Silver Lake High School. He was a big man on campus.
Well, not only was he a terrific athlete, but he was also one of the editors of the yearbook committee, and he was the salutatorian. We said, Coach, how were you able to accomplish all of that? And he said, well, Holly, keep in mind, there were only 35 kids in my class. We kind of had to do everything.
Yeah, I want to also thank Marcia Johnson, secretary over there at school. She was a huge help with the photos and everything. So, Marcia, thanks. Got 11 minutes to go here in the first half. 15-8. Jayhawks with the lead. And interesting, the Sooners are right there. They just need a couple of hoops here.
Well, they're 4 for 16 so far, Brent, and they've given away some opportunities to cut into this lead.
Now they're going to look at those starters out on the floor for the Jayhawks, and there's one way to cut into it right there with Hornbeek scoring on the wraparound.
Well, he took advantage of the opening. Hornbeek's a guy that started 29 games as a freshman. And, Brent, this is a very, very young Oklahoma team. They lost 68% of their scoring from a year ago. Hornbeek, Cousins, Spangler, all these guys are going to be back 3 more seasons.
And there's the old-fashioned three-point play. That'll cut into the lead right there with 10:45 to go. Now the Jayhawks have been quiet, and this is a 7-0 Sooner run. Talked about runs. This is what Oklahoma needs to stay in it. And Self being concerned. The only starter he doesn't have out there is Frankamp. He's a spot-up three-point shooter. He's out there, and Wiggins is getting a break. Ellis puts it down. Come baseline, here is Frankamp. Marksman, not this time. This would be huge if the Sooners can keep this run going.
Now, where the Sooners have an advantage is they're able to spread the floor with 4 shooters.
Fade. Cousins did not get the bounce. Embiid battling away on the inside with Ryan Spangler, and he got the rebound. Tharp takes it hard to the basket on the other side.
That's what you want to avoid if you're Kansas, but a good job by Nadir Tharp. Sooners not set in their half-court defense. Tharp got all the way to the rim.
Clark, good shooter. Under pressure, nails from, I believe it was over there, and there was also a pushing foul on him.
Well, this guy's had a tremendous senior year. Cameron Clark out of Sherman, Texas, Brent. Started his first 2 years, came off the bench as a junior, and really this year has come into his own. That's a chance at 3. As I mentioned earlier, one of the best 17-foot shooters you'll see. 2 career highs this year, 32 against Kansas and Tom Izzo's Michigan State team.
The officials are checking the monitor to see if that was a 3 or a 2 over there in the corner.
Yeah, take a look. I thought his feet were inside.
That's clearly a 2.
Yep.
But he's got a chance to make it a 3 coming up to that free throw line right now. He has 8 points, Clark does here in the Illinois. Cameron Clark averaging better than 15 points a game. And I think you pointed out, put up 32 against both the Spartans and the Jayhawks.
That's pretty good when you think about it. Really having an outstanding senior year.
Sucks in 3. And the Sooners are not going away, folks. They weathered that early storm. And they're coming back with a run of their own here. And Embiid being pushed by Spangler.
Well, see, I don't understand that. That foul on Spangler, the two of those guys have been battling all night. Spangler's looking around like you haven't called that for 11 minutes. And I'm okay with cleaning up some inside action, but they've been banging both ways all night long. In fact, I love the way Embiid throws his body around him there.
Wiggins back out on the floor, so it's a starting 5 for Coach Self. Tried to get it inbounds off. Bad turnover that time as it hit Spangler's leg. Clark off the dribble.
They're trying to get Embiid on the perimeter.
Heel knocks the 3 ball down. My, oh my, look what we found at the 8:50 mark. Deadlocked at 17, and hey, where's the rock chalk crowd? Come on, is this church? Well, Tuesday, ESPN2 features the only undefeated team in the country. Number 2 now, Wichita State looking to remain unbeaten against Bradley. Wichita State versus Bradley. It's Tuesday at 9 on ESPN2. And look who joined us here tonight. One of the Shocker faithful.
How about that? They've got 2 regular season games left. Bradley tomorrow, and then on the weekend they'll play Missouri State. Last team to go undefeated in the regular season, St. Joe's and Jameer Nelson.
Well, we're going to have another overtime game. Tharp comes up. Tharp says, no, I don't want to work extra minutes tonight.
Well, that's
Folks, on Big Monday, we've had 3 consecutive overtime games here in the Big 12.
You see,
it's 2017.
is that reflected in your paycheck, the overtime pay?
Woodard, battle for the rebound. Bennett, and there's a foul against Kansas. Oklahoma's coming to the free throw line. That's on Wiggins. And that's his 2nd personal foul here.
Bill Self's going to look down that bench and
going to go to the small lineup. It looks like he's going to send Frank Mason. And Coach Self in that huddle, Holly, what was his mood like?
Well, he's pretty upset right now with the energy level of his team. He actually said, you guys look like duds out there. We got to get this thing turned up. And then coming out of that last 30-second huddle, he looked at Nadir Tharp and really yelled at him. Told him he needed to get going. Tharp came right out of the huddle, hit the 3. He needs his team a little more energized right now.
I like the look on the Sooners, Fran. The way they weathered that. It could have been another beatdown.
what did we notice about Kansas in warm-ups today, Brad?
Yeah, Kansas, they were jamming the ball in. There's another 3 ball, however. That'll bring this crowd alive again as Ellis steps outside and knocks it down. Makes it 23-19. Still an awful lot of talent on this
I would
playoff
say,
team.
yep. Barry Ellis, 6 of 12 behind the arc this year.
Not afraid to get inside, but he's covered up and moves on Embiid. Hey, that was a beautiful move by Cousins for the field goal.
Tell you what, Cousins is a sophomore that has improved remarkably from a year ago where he averaged under 3 points a game.
Ellis now inside after the 3, and he'll be on the free throw line. DJ Bennett was working against him, and he drew the personal foul. Watch this move here by Cousins.
Mount Vernon, New York, Brent. You know, the McRae brothers, the Williams boys. Pretty good lineage.
Welcome back to Lawrence, 23-21. Well, we see Kansas football coach Charlie Weiss in audience. It reminds me, Fran, who is the greatest running back in Kansas Jayhawk history?
Well, I'm a Jets fan, so I'm thinking about saying John Riggins. But I know it's the Kansas Common.
Gale Sayers.
Yep.
And I was in Las Vegas at South Point. He came up. He said, Brent, do you remember me? And it took me unawares. He said, Gale Sayers. And, of course, you asked me, and I covered that 6-touchdown game as a writer for Chicago's American. Gale was in. He was in an autograph session signing in Las Vegas. He looks great.
And maybe one of the great rookie seasons in the history of the NFL.
Fran, if he hadn't gotten injured, okay, or we had today's medical practices with the arthroscopic things that you could do on the knee, I think he would have gone down as one of the greatest running backs of all time. I mean, he was unbelievable. Really a nice man, too, I might add. All right, so here we go now. It's 25-21. Jayhawks with a 4-point lead on Oklahoma. Spangler and Neal's back on the floor here for the Sooners. Going to try to pass it in, and was lucky that Spangler made that catch, huh?
Those are roommates right there.
Wow.
You know, when he drops the tomato soup from the kitchen cabinet, his buddy's right there to catch it right here. Take a look. Tyler Neal, who, by the way, Brent, we've talked about this, having a very solid senior year for Lon Kruger. Young guy from Oklahoma City. He's made some big shots this year. How about Spangler? How about the sophomore year he's had?
A transfer from Gonzaga, wanted to be closer to home.
Yep.
And he plays bigger than he is, Fran. Is that fair to say about him underneath?
Yeah, well, remember, he spent all that time with Robert Sacre and Kelly Olynyk, and then last year, Will Osby was terrific around this team, and he certainly has taking some of that wisdom and put it into good use.
And his Tharp picked up his second foul on that, so he'll watch for a time. Mason attempt to run the team here with Ellis. There is Mason. Good penetrating move. Got it back, coming inside.
That was a good effort by Embiid.
Selden kicks. And down low. Turned it over. So there are 4 Jayhawk turnovers in this game.
Well, the thing that's impressed me about Oklahoma right now, Brent, we talked about it earlier, they've weathered the storm, and you can see why they've got 9 wins and 20 wins overall. Ron Kruger's team, very, very disciplined.
They're simply one of the best coaches in the country. No shortage of good coaches in this conference either. Booker on the drive, and he'll be on the free throw line. Frankamp trying to defend him, picks up the personal foul.
Well, that's the second time Connor Frankamp has been taken off the dribble. He's an outstanding shooter, Brent. Really hadn't got it going behind the arc this year.
That's 3 personals.
Yep, he'll have to come out.
And Green will replace him. So Brandon Green will check it. And this game is not going anything like the Saturday game against Texas. At this point in the first half, the Jayhawks were pulling away, but not here tonight. And OU at one time was down by 11 points in this game, 15-4. Deadlocked at 25, and Selden, Mason, Traylor, Embiid, and Green on the floor for the Jayhawks.
They'll go inside. Yep.
And he stripped. Beautiful move by Book.
Now this is where it becomes a problem for Kansas, guarding this spread offense.
Hield misses into Mason's hands. Mason drives. Spangler rebounds.
Got numbers.
Woodard going to keep it and kisses it off the glass. Fine move by Jordan Woodard. And this is the first Oklahoma lead of the night, 27-25.
Now if you're Kansas, keep pounding it inside to Embiid. I'm surprised Selden didn't throw it in there.
And the foul is going to go as Woodard.
Well, watch Jordan Woodard here. This is a young man that's really stepped in for Lon Kruger, a good decision maker. He's going to end up shooting over 200 free throws this year. Won 2 state titles in the state of Oklahoma, almost a 3rd one. But we looked around the league this year, Brent. We've seen some really outstanding freshmen.
It's only the 6th team foul against them, so ball out of bounds here for the Jayhawks. Selden turns it over. Another Kansas turnover. You know, loosey-goosey before the game, in a dunk contest before the coaches came to their seats. Crowd loved it, but you and I kind of looked at each other and said, beware.
Not focused. At least that, then they could win this game by 25.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we saw that, we noticed it, and it should be pointed out.
And it falls for Spangler, Ryan Spangler. This is a stat to think about. Kansas has turned it over 6 times, and Oklahoma has not turned it over once in this game. Selden cracks up a 3. Big 3.
Selden has the green light. Bill Self would like him to shoot a little bit more. He made a huge 3 in that Texas Tech win.
Away from Spangler. That's their first turnover. Green on the drive, and he is fouled by Booker.
Spangler and Embiid are slapping 5. I think Embiid knew he got away with one, and
Yes, and Kruger is really reminding the officials that that was a foul down here at the other end on Embiid.
That's why I said earlier, Brent, the officials done a good job of letting him play inside.
Black will replace Embiid. Kruger as a player was 1 and 2. Freshmen were not eligible when he was at Kansas State. He lost a double overtime game as a sophomore. Then came back and they ended a streak here of the Jayhawks. And then they lost by 5 in his third year. But as a coach, in the year that the Jayhawks won the championship, Kruger played Kansas. This was back in '88. Kruger was at Kansas State in '88, and they played 4 times and split the floor. I did 2 of them.
Yeah.
And that regional final, Larry Brown and the Jayhawks won it.
In Pontiac, right? Silverdome.
It was.
They had a pretty good point guard, Kansas State, back then, by the name of Steve Henson.
Henson, now a coach.
Now an assistant coach on that bench with Lon Kruger. Of course, Mitch Richmond was pretty good, wasn't he?
Oh, Mitch Richmond was great. 11 points now for Clark. The Sooners are up by 2. Double-digit underdog here tonight. Rims out. Green for the rebound on the deck. Loose ball.
We got a timeout, Brent.
Timeout called Selden.
Yep.
I thought that the held ball should have been called earlier.
Well, you know what? Lon Kruger looked over at Mike Stewart and said, okay, you're right.
30 seconds timeout.
You know, Fran, we just mentioned it, so we've got a moment here. Let's go back to that Elite Eight and look at Coach Brown. He's
What's he doing these days?
Doing a great job. And you mentioned Steve Henson. There he is. Okay, they'd already beaten the Jayhawks a couple of times. Mitch Richmond had 11 points. It wasn't enough to match Danny and the Miracles. And the Wildcats fell 71-58 to the NCAA champion. And who did Kansas beat for the championship that year?
The Oklahoma Sooners.
Greatest first half of a championship game that I was ever around.
Let me guess, 50-47.
50 all.
50 all, was it?
50th anniversary.
Whoa.
We were deadlocked at 50.
Who was knocking down those threes? Seeger?
Yes.
The kid, yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, Danny was settling for free throws and little bunnies on the inside.
Yep. I remember that game. We all do.
Played it up the road, Kansas City. Harry Ellis on a tough wrap around, knock from Green's hands. He tracks it down. Very, very athletic, this young man.
Right. That's a good effort by Green, who came in here with the rep as a scorer. He's going to play more minutes if he scraps like that.
Selden on a pull-up. Good looking rebound by Hornby. Oklahoma bench has contributed here, Fran.
Oh, they really have. They don't go deep, Brent, but they do have some guys that come off and give them good minutes. Tough shot.
And winds up in the hands of Black. Selden feeds Ellis.
Oh, good
and
pass.
Black on a great pass and one. That foul against Cousins, but what a wonderful pass to him. Watch this feed. Ellis spotted him cutting to the rim. Picked him up beautifully. We got a timeout.
Reese Davis with you in the studio. I'm on to halftime report. Syracuse, as the Orange customarily do, made it interesting, made it dramatic, but not necessarily volatile this time. Wichita State, are they worthy of a #1 seed? We'll put their resume under the Monday microscope. And Marcus Smart returned close to home, and boy, did he put on a show. So too the rest of the Cowboys as they get ready for their showdown this weekend with Kansas. The numbers game. You join us in the Mazda halftime report.
And those are the numbers for Marcus tonight. Notice, Fran, 7 assists and 5 steals. And then against Texas Tech, he had 10 dimes and 6 steals.
This is the Marcus Smart that we saw for most of this year. And by the way, Brent, they're off now until Saturday when the Jayhawks come to Galgaiba. And then another important game, we'll be up in Stillwater next Monday with K-State coming in.
Fran, you know, I got to ask Holly. Holly, what was he wearing? I saw 43 tonight on the screen. I just saw a couple of trips in that game. What was that all about?
Well, he's number 33 normally, but because the team manager took the jerseys they wore on the road against Baylor last week when Marcus was suspended, did that laundry. Well, Marcus's jersey wasn't in that batch because he was out of the game. So they just forgot to grab number 33 out of the closet. So last minute, he's number 43. But they don't think he's going to change because he started the game 2 of 13 tonight. So no danger in him changing numbers.
I agree. And Clark was fouled on that drive to the basket. So he'll step to the free throw line with a chance as Ellis picks up the personal, his second. And Embiid will replace Ellis after Curry received his second. And now we're tied again at 32. We've been tied here now 6 times. 6 times in this game. And remember, Oklahoma down by 11 early in this game.
Well, they've done a good job of spreading out Kansas's bigger players with guys like Cam Clark and are driving the ball with those 3 guards as well. Spangler's got 1. He doesn't want to get his second.
Black steps out over the top with the pass. Wants Embiid. Crowd wanted a foul. Selden dribbles, drives, and he is fouled, and he will come to the free throw line. Clark is going to pick up his second personal.
Wayne Selden is really mixing up that 3-point shot with that strong drive. The freshman from Roxbury, 3 games over 20 this year in Big 12 play.
Oklahoma protecting the basketball very well here tonight, folks. Only 1 turnover, 6 for the Jayhawks. Selden got a couple of bounces to go in. He now has 7 points along with Perry Ellis. They're the scoring leaders up there. And Cameron Clark with 11 points is leading the Sooners. Up by 1. Sooners turn.
Oklahoma in that first meeting was up 4 late, and Kansas went on an 11-0 run to end the half.
Spangler kicks back. Hornbeak's wide open. He had a great look that time. It just didn't go down.
Now, Hornbeak's really struggled behind the arc this year. A lot of it's had to do with injuries.
Green rises. Spangler again gets rebounding position on the much bigger Embiid. Drive and a kick. Boy, what a hustler Spangler is. All over the floor. Doesn't stop moving. Back down low. Here's Hornbeak on the drive. Kind of off balance that time and threw up. He actually had Spangler on the baseline. Selden on the free throw line, going to shoot a pair. Tyler Neal hustling back, picks up the personal.
A couple of questionable shots by Oklahoma that allowed Kansas to get out and run.
Yeah, exactly. He was way out of control.
Yeah.
He got in there on that one.
I think as much as Oklahoma loves the up-tempo game, Brent, averaging about 80 points a game, get down to the end of the half and you're down 1. You want to kind of be judicious.
I got to give you an interesting stat about the Big 12. You and I like to talk about it. In the history of the conference, no sub 500 Big 12 team in the conference. Now, conference games only. There have been some 500 teams, but no sub 500 team in the conference has ever made the NCAA tournament. And I'm guessing that's going to end this year.
I think you are right. And remember this, because of double round robin play in this league, it's nice and balanced. Everybody plays everybody home and away.
Spangler has to kick it on the outside, and traveling is called on him.
And I thought the last 3 Oklahoma possessions, where they normally love to play quick, spread it, drive it, I think they've been a little bit out of control.
They have to feel awfully good, though, with a minute, coming down at a minute 10, Fran, to only be down 3 after that start.
I'll tell you in another minute.
Hey, Junior, better are you not? Here he goes. Selden has to pick his dribble up. And then knocks down another three. I believe that's 3 balls. It is indeed for Selden. He's 3 of 4 shooting the threes. And maybe you were right, I was wrong. Timeout is going to be called.
And a lot of that, Brent, is because of 3 really poor Oklahoma possessions. And then the flip side of it is Wayne Selden, his career high 24 came in that first meeting in Norman.
Well, NBA doubleheader coming your way Wednesday night on ESPN at 8. Pelicans will face the Mavs. Then at 10:30, the Rockets take on the Clippers. And when I was out west, I had a chance to watch the Pelicans for the first time. And the young man Davis, who came out of Kentucky, I think he's going to be a big player. But you tell me they've changed positions a little bit.
Well, last year he played power forward because Robin Lopez was the center, so he didn't have to bang with the big centers in the league. Lopez left. He's doing a great job in Portland. Anthony Davis growing into that spot for the Pelicans.
Yeah, he's going to be a good player. So if you haven't seen him this year with the Pete, on Wednesday night here, it's a 6-point Jayhawk lead, 47.8 remaining.
Now, Brent, here's your dilemma if you're Lon Kruger. You're from that NBA background. Do you go 2 for 1 here? And normally I would say yes, but you better get 2 good shots, because if you shoot another quick shot, Kansas runs it the other way, you're going to be in trouble at halftime.
Bad inbounds pass. Embiid stepped around Spangler. Green kicks out to Mason. Open look. Back-to-back threes. Hello, crowd. You're back in it.
Deja vu, Brent. That 11-1 run in the first game put Oklahoma in danger.
Woodard kicks back outside. Hornbeak. Spangler couldn't get to it. First half comes to an end, and the Jayhawks close it out in style with a 10-0 run. Take a 42-33 halftime lead. And let's go to Hollywood. Coach Self.
Well, Coach, for much of that half, you were upset with your guys and their energy level. What started to change for you?
Well, we made a couple of shots there late, but we didn't play with any energy. We got off to a good start and kind of put on cruise control for a bit. And they controlled the game, I thought, as far as having us on our heels. But fortunately, we had a last good 3 minutes.
What do you have to change defensively? They have had some runs in this game.
Well, you know, they score 80-plus points a game, and they got 33 now. So I don't think it's as much our defense. We can do a better job, I think, offensively.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Holly. So there it is with that 10-0 spurt. Jayhawks back in front. We'll go to Reese Davis, Seth Greenberg, Jay Williams. It's the Mazda halftime report. Welcome back to Big Monday, presented by Verizon. It's part of Bracket Builder Week. And here in Lawrence, Kansas, the Jayhawks are trying to build an argument that they deserve to be a 1 in this year's NCAA bracket. 42-33. You can see that the Sooners have not won here in Lawrence since 1993. Now, they did not play every year here until recently. And, of course, the conference was whittled down to 10 teams. And Fran, I was thinking you had some points at the start of this game that you said Oklahoma had to do. Where did you stand?
Well, number one, take away transition, which they did a really good job of, Brent. They did a good job of defending the paint. Not a lot of power touches for Kansas inside, but the runs. And you see the numbers, 3 runs of 6-0 or more. And if I were Bill Self right now in that locker room, if I was Kansas, I'd say, we haven't played great, but we're one more 10-0 run from blowing this game open.
So we get ready now to start our second half. But another interesting stat. Buddy Hield, who came in averaging almost 17 points a game, He has only 3 points tonight. He's 1 of 5. He did score 18 against Kansas for the Sooners in that first game. So Oklahoma with the first possession. And Holly Rowe, what did Coach Kruger have to say as, first of all, his big man just rolled in Ryan Spangler? What a way to start the second half. But what did Coach Kruger have to say to you about that opening half?
Well, you know, he said that Ryan Spangler may have been a little too careful trying to not get those fouls, but he said, I do like how he's battling in there with the mismatch. But Buddy Hield's got to get going for them. Just 3 points. He said he's one shot away from getting on a roll. He needs something to go down. He's a rhythm shooter. He gets on a roll. I also asked him about giving up 60% from the three-point line. He said, that's our big challenge. We're trying to do such a good job guarding inside. Fran, like you mentioned, they've got to do a better job popping out and guarding that three-point line.
And Fran, the big moment in this game, Wiggins picked up his 3rd foul in that sequence. And Ellis takes the pass from Dunk and stuffs it home. 9 for Ellis.
Both coaches came out, ran tricky stuff. Both scored baskets. Good coaching.
Now, what does Self do here with Wiggins? No indication he's going to take him out with the 3 right now.
Yeah, I would let him stay in there, but if his Cousins hits over him. But if I were Oklahoma, I know one thing: I'd go right at Andrew Wiggins. How about this now? Spangler's going to guard Ellis, but they're going to come quick on the double.
So on the catch, they went right to him on the double. Selden up over the top. It'll go over and out of the Sooners.
That was actually good basketball by Kansas. Embiid did a good job of throwing it out of the double. They swung it quickly. Selden got the shot. Look how spread out Oklahoma is with their offense with those guards.
Woodard drove the baseline. Came out the other end.
It's tough to throw it in there, even though, look at, yeah, you're not going to get away with that against Kansas. They double quickly.
Woodard ball fake, gives it up to Hield, and Hield scores, and no foul called on that field goal. Hield didn't complain. He hustles back on defense. He took a pretty good blow in there.
Thought he used his left arm well, and they let both contacts go.
Ellis rims out. Spangler rebounds. Woodard knocks the 3 ball down. And a timeout is called as the Sooners pull to within 1 point. So we'll take a break. Great start here in the second half.
Pelicans Mavericks at 8. Rockets Clippers at 10:30 Wednesday on ESPN.
Oklahoma cuts into this Kansas lead with a 10-0 run. Watch the first play of the second half, Brent. They cheat out on Spangler. He gets to the rim. Good set play. And that allows them to get that 3rd foul on Wiggins. Good ball movement and a good start to the second half for Lon Kruger's club.
Amazing. You know, they close out with Kansas on a 10-0 run. Then they come back with their 10-2 run here to open up the second half and get right back in the thick of things, trailing it by a point. Tharp on a run out goes to Wiggins. Wiggins puts it down. Didn't score. And Embiid will be at the free throw line.
And I think Spangler might have got him. I thought Embiid, Brent, he didn't impact the game a lot offensively in the first half, but he was very active and he stayed out of foul trouble.
He's 1 of 2 at the free throw line. So far, he hasn't even picked up 1 foul. Hard for him to do, but he is agile.
Yep.
Good footwork. Grew up in Cameroon, of course, playing soccer. It's interesting. Holly Rowe has been in contact with the young man's father over in Cameroon, and here sometime in the second half we get an opportunity. We want to show you some pictures that Mr. Embiid sent to Holly when Joel was a youngster. You'll get a kick out of seeing those. He's got a terrific future as a basketball player. And Hield throws it out of bounds. Spangler was cutting behind it. And as the ball goes out of bounds on the turnover, let's take a look. Here he is, growing up in Cameroon. Yeah, happy birthday, Joel. And there There's a young man, and you can see in these photos he's just getting bigger and bigger.
Oh, he's getting bigger. He's growing. He's from Yaoundé.
That's offensive foul on him. There's his first foul. Spangler draws the foul on Embiid. Good call.
Good scouting report defense right there, because Embiid, once you get into league play, you see him enough. He loves that spin move.
So, Holly, what was the communication like with Mr. Embiid?
Well, we actually did it in French, because French is one of the languages they speak there in Cameroon. We were able to communicate through email. His father was able to come over here once this season and see Joel play in person. But guys, keep in mind, only 2.5 years now that he's been playing basketball at all. He was a soccer and volleyball star over there in Cameroon.
That he was a heck of a volleyball player for him at that net. So here's Hield handling the ball for the Sooners. Loose. On the deck, turn it over. Jayhawks.
This is what you want to do if you're Kansas, is run on those turnovers.
Away from the ball. Offensive foul is called. Is that another one on him?
Yes, it is.
So just when he bragging about him with no fouls, picks up 2. There he is bumping down low and forcing his way across the lane.
This year, Brent, that's called displacement. Cameron Clark is entitled to his position in the post, and Embiid just backed him down.
Woodard with Clark screening out high. Taller Ellis on him. That's beautiful movement there. Ball didn't stay down, but he put a great move on the bigger Ellis.
I'm anxious to see if Nadir Tharp really steps up now in the second half. He's the catalyst for this Kansas team. Usually when he plays well, they follow suit.
Off the iron was Wiggins. Great lead pass down the floor. And one. That was a great finish by Buddy Hield as he broke down on the other side, and there was daylight.
He's a natural scorer, Brent. This is a good look. Take a look at what a good pass by Jordan Woodard. But Buddy Hield, he plays with no conscience. He's got to have amnesia. He'll miss some shots, but he'll score in a hurry.
That's what scorers have to do.
Absolutely.
That's 3 fouls on Tharp, 3 on Wiggins. Embiid has 2. So there are problems.
Yes. And when you get in foul trouble, it saps your energy. Guys get reluctant to play aggressively.
Mason now running the point, handling the ball. They took a look at Ellis and Selden able to fire it into him.
Oklahoma's done a good job of doubling the ball out of the post tonight.
Wiggins wants to load Embiid, and they turn it over.
What they've done is they've really shrunk the floor on Embiid. 5 in the lane. That's off.
That was for the lead. Offensive rebound. Waved off. Waved off. Stepped out of bounds. Ball goes over. We'll take a timeout here at the 15:23 mark. We're tied at 46. Fran wants another overtime. ESPN's Journey to the Tourney, a season-long spotlight on games will impact the tournament. Tuesday, number 3 undefeated Wichita State takes on Bradley. Well, remember now, it's the old bracket builder week, and certainly the Shockers are trying to build a case for being number 1. Let's check in with our man, Joey Brackets, Joey Lenardi, and this is what he says right now tonight. Arizona, Florida, Syracuse, and Wichita State. That's an alphabetical order. Alphabetical order. On the other side, Creighton, Duke, Kansas, and Wisconsin listed at 2. If Wichita State goes undefeated, you can't deny it.
Oh, there's no question. There's no question. They're going to be favored in their last 5 games. 2 in the regular season, 3 in the postseason in St. Louis. They haven't lost in a year, Brent.
Yeah, the last time they lost in the Final Four.
To Louisville, and they led by 11 in the second half.
Yeah. Joe Castiglione, the fine athletic director of Oklahoma, is on the committee this year, and there's a foul down inside.
Well, I like this piece of officiating here. because you have to start cleaning up the contact inside. That time they got Spangler. But they've both been going toe-to-toe all night. Spangler's going to take a seat.
That's 3 fouls on Spangler. So we got the 3 foul club mounting here. And interestingly enough, Wiggins has stayed on the floor. So obviously Coach Self feels that he can handle himself out there with the 3 fouls. Mason rattled out. Looked like it was going to go down. Ball's out of bounds. Goes on over to the Sooners.
Hey, Brent, you know what? All you need to know about Kansas's intensity tonight? Bill Self's got only 2 timeouts left. He's had to call 3 timeouts tonight to get his team to play hard. That doesn't happen too often in here.
Meanwhile, Coach Kruger has 4 timeouts left. We're tied at 46. Ellis on Clark, and Clark rises up. Wiggins.
That's good defense by Ellis. The fact that Clark had a double pump so much tells you all you need to know.
Ellis is doubled on the catch. Embiid on the other side, right side fade. Ellis tries to keep it in play and cannot, as the Sooners go over to the corner. Yes, are they out of bounds? No, it goes over, according to Tommy O'Neill. Now they're going to change it, and it's going to be Jayhawk basketball.
You know what that was in the old days? That was the old force out. It's either got to be a foul or out of bounds on Oklahoma, and Tommy O'Neill finally came to his senses and made a call.
Mason pops, drives, got to kick it back to Wiggins, open 3. And Embiid over the top with the size and 1.
Well, I mentioned earlier, he hasn't had a prolific night in terms of his stats, but he's been very, very active on. Watch this now. Watch how many bodies are around him. He just jumps vertically. Look at all those crimson jerseys. Then a soft touch inside.
So we've had our 5th lead change. We've been tied 8 times here. Oklahoma, double-digit underdog. Clark now with 3 fouls. So Coach Kruger will substitute for him. A little battle of attrition, with the foul penalties with the next one.
You know, Oklahoma, Brent, has 8 wins away from home this year, the most in the Big 12. So they've gotten accustomed to going on the road and handling this kind of environment.
Sooners down 3 with the ball. Trap in the backcourt. And dribbling out was Cousins. And in low, that's one of the things you can do against that press. And that was Bennett who scored.
Yeah.
Just take it to the rim.
And he took it right at Embiid, Cousins, and that allowed DJ Bennett to get open. Cousins, one of those guys that plays with no fear.
Wiggins drives in. He'll be on the free throw line.
Well, we've seen this from Andrew Wiggins as the season goes on. He's been much more aggressive at attacking the basket.
Only 6 points for him tonight with that free throw. Came in averaging 16.9, 6.3 rebound. Interesting, Fran, when I watch him, if he gets off to a good start, look out. He struggles a little bit. Sometimes he doesn't come out of that funk. Have you noticed that at all?
Yes, that's been the MO. The effort level and the coachability, according to the coaching staff, is through the roof. I think sometimes the confidence level is not always there. Watch Booker here.
He flashed. Tried to feed it inside, turned it over into Wiggins' hands.
Might as well go inside to the big fella.
He plays catch. Mason open, short, and Ellis offensive rebound. Selden kicks back. Wiggins again. Off the iron. Loose ball. Wiggins scores it. Back over to Mason. And he'll be charging. Called for a charge. Young Frank Mason, work in progress. Freshman guard, and that's his second personal tonight.
Well, that time Kansas did a terrific job on the offensive glass. They used their size and athleticism, weren't able to finish, and then Mason Jr. picked up the foul.
Booker is out. Coach Kruger right now. Hornby cousin Neal will take the ball out of bounds. Hield on the floor. Bennett screens for Cousins. Pass is deflected, but right to Neal. Short pass down on the inside. Nice move. That was a tough field goal for DJ Bennett.
You know, he redshirted last year, Ben. He's a junior college transfer, and he spent the whole year battling Spangler, Osby, Embi, really giving Lon Kruger good minutes.
He doubles right there. It helps Neal on Embiid.
That double's been good tonight.
Yes, it has. And there's going to be a foul. Embiid was attempted to back in. He'll come back up to the free throw line.
That's where JoJo Embiid is getting better. That time he recognized single coverage right away. He went right to the rim.
Tyler Neal picks up his second foul. Jayhawks lead it, but only by 1. Another double-double for our guy Embiid. 11 points now with that free throw, and of course he's got 10 rebounds. Here tonight, that's his 7th double-double of the season.
Right now,
so take it away because of a lane violation. That's what you heard the crowd reaction.
3 fouls on Spangler, so Lon Kruger's going to calculate in his head how long he can keep him out vis-a-vis the score. Situation.
Jayhawks up 2. Black will give Embiid a break as he reports in. Wiggins stays, so does Selden. Tharp is now back. And Traylor.
Yeah, we saw. Uh-oh.
They got numbers here. Spot up, Hield nails a 3. He ran right to the corner.
Yes, he did.
They could have had a 2-on-1 layup, and he said, I'm going for the 3 ball.
And guess what? Isaiah Cousins knew that too, didn't he? Gotta watch Buddy Hield now. He can score in bunches.
Now Wiggins attacks.
I tell you, Brent, that's not. He just does not finish as well as he could.
Neal, long 3, rattled out, and an offensive putback by Hield. 5 consecutive points for Buddy Hield, coming alive now, and the Sooners are up 3.
And remember, Bill Self's only got 2 timeouts left.
Green is going to check in for Self. Selden nails a J.
Well, that was a huge shot by Wayne Selden. He made 5 threes in that first meeting.
Allen alive. Spot 3, knock it down again. This time it is Neal going to the left corner.
Tyler Neal has done that all season long for Lon Kruger, the senior from Midwest City. Okay, I would back off Wiggins right now and make him make a 3. I wouldn't let this guy shoot Selden. I would almost dare Wiggins to shoot a shot here.
Wiggins with the ball. They give him some room. You pull up the J, and you were right. You called it.
You know, Bob Knight once did to Clark Kellogg, the great player at Ohio State. He ran off of him and played his man in the lane.
Interesting.
You know, I would do this. I would get into Wiggins' head right now.
He'll rush 1. And there's going to be foul called. Timeout. And watch this. Good putback by Hield. Sooners up 4. Well, it's time for Did You See That? Brought to you by Verizon. Take it away, Fran.
Well, it's hard to press Oklahoma with all these guards, but at the end of this play, Buddy Hield, he's just going to run to the corner. This is his spot right here. Watch Isaiah Cousins. He had the opportunity to lay it up, take it one-on-one, but Hield just gets to his feet set, gets to the line. That's something he's doing all year long.
That foul was on Cousins as we went to break. You know what's interesting, Fran? The Jayhawks shoot around 50% almost all their games, one of the best shooting teams in the country. They've been held to 39% here, 16 of 41 from the field, 6 of 15 from threes. Done a pretty good job at the free throw line. Ball was inbounds out. So it was inbounded this time to Traylor, who's on the floor along with Tariq Black, and good move by Traylor on the inside.
Traylor makes almost 75% of his shots all year, because those are the kind of shots he takes, gets, and makes. Very efficient, good off the bench.
Jayhawks pulled to within 2. Hield. Woodard into the corner.
Got to get it to a guard.
And they do finally to Hornbeek. Now 7 on the shot. Hornbeek's got to go to work. Only 4. Hornbeek's got to take it. Comes up and pushing foul is called. Got bailed out. The shot clock is running down on that one.
I'll tell you, Brent, Black did almost everything perfectly on that possession. It was a good hedge. He moved his feet well. Take a look at now. Black's already guarded the pick and roll. And then at the very last minute, you see that left arm, and he just needed to stay vertical. I'll give him an A- on that if I were grading.
The crowd gave him a D- on the call.
Yes, they did.
There's the Jayhawk foul trouble. 3 with 3 and 4 with 2. It's a 3-point lead again. 59-56 Oklahoma.
Definitely want to keep Wiggins out of the lane if you're Oklahoma. I would dare him to shoot a jump shot.
Black kicks it back outside to Green. Here's Tharp. Pull up at the free throw line and rattles in.
He can do that, and he needs to do it right now. No Perry Ellis on the court.
Goes the other way. Offensive foul is the call against Oklahoma. Woodard.
Yeah, it was a poor decision by Woodard, because if that pass were completed, it was taking Neal away from the basket. Remember Spangler with 3 fouls. He's on the bench.
Wiggins trying to give him the lead to Kansas. Tap back, tap in, and that was Wiggins staying with it.
Yep. He
is so quick underneath the basket. We have seen him do that before. Jayhawks up a point. Oklahoma timeout. 8:34 remaining, and another good one here in the Big 12 on Big Monday. Certainly the deepest conference in the country this year. There's no question about it.
Well, here's what you got, Brent. When you're guarding Wiggins, you got to keep him from getting this deep, and then watch how quick he is off of his feet. I would rather him settle for jump shots than attacking the rim.
So we got together at lunch. We've had a lot of all-star teams, and so let's France 5. We did let Holly vote on this, and now this is the team that if we were going to play the Big Ten All-Stars, this would be the starting 5 right here.
This is the team I would take to war. I got a point guard. I got size. I got athleticism. I got the big fella inside. Melvin Edgems had a 48-point game. A lot of guys are deserving to be on this team. They wouldn't let me pick a 6th man, Brent.
No.
You know,
that's cheating.
If I had a start,
this is starting 5.
I'll take these guys. I know on the defensive end will be phenomenal.
You know what that team is? tells me?
What's that?
Beware of Iowa State and Kansas City at the tournament.
You're right
Two
about
of
that.
them. Okay.
Yeah. How about that? Two guys that'll be Player of the Year candidates. Edgem and Kane.
Woodard will take the ball out of bounds. They're down a point, 8.5 minutes. Still plenty of time up on that shot clock.
You got Spangler back after the timeout.
Cousins rattles out. Loose ball. And there's Wiggins hustling to it. Off the weave, Traylor. Jamari Traylor knocking down another field goal. He's had 2 big hoops here coming down the stretch. Woodard, daylight. What a beautiful hoop by Woodard. He saw the daylight, and now there's a collision over there on the other side. Spangler wrapped up with Tariq Black. Frank, did you see what happened?
No, I was watching Woodard with the finish, but Oklahoma will keep the ball. Watch Jordan Woodard now. This kid is going to get to the line 200 times this year.
And then the collision and down. We'll sort it out when we come back.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Verizon. Starting now, you're getting more on the all-new More Everything plan. It's powerful, and in part by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. And the all-new Chevy Silverado, 2014 North American Truck of the Year.
Welcome back now to Lawrence. 1-point game. We want to show you that play. Tariq Black. I want you to watch number 25 defensively. Forget the basketball. We know Woodard's going to score. Spangler and Black. Watch Black's arm. Take a look at this. He's pulling Spangler toward him. He picked up the foul. We're in a 1-on-1, and Spangler's coming up to the free throw line. He can put OU into the lead in this game. And we've had 6 lead changes already here tonight. Did not roll in. One and done. On the floor. Still on the floor. And finally the held ball call. It'll go over to the Jayhawks. These guys are, we're not early on calling a held ball.
No, you know, it's a football league too now, Brandon.
That's true. Wiggins wants to bring help back.
Well, Oklahoma can bring a little bit of pressure.
Here comes Tharp. So he'll bring it up. Jayhawks are up a point. 7.5 minutes to go. Remember, they ended the first half on a 10-0 run.
Oklahoma switching out front. This dribble handoff.
Green on a beautiful drive. Didn't stay down. Here comes OU still looking for the lead. They got numbers. Woodard and lost control. It was 3-on-2. And Woodard turned it over.
Woodard had healed in the corner.
Wiggins on a fine drive and one.
Talked about keeping Andrew Wiggins out of the open court. There's the drive. Didn't see really much of a foul there. But they rewarded aggressiveness.
Made it look good. And he has boosted the Jayhawks to a 4-point lead now. Dangerous out on top. Clark off the dribble. He's tied up inside. That ball will be in OU's hands.
Now with 11 seconds on the clock, let's see if Oklahoma can do something to See what they got. Lon Kruger not happy, but got a score here. See, they got something in their back pocket.
Knocks it down on the J on the inbounds pass. Cameron Clark, who's been quiet here. That's his first field goal this half.
You know, when I was coaching, Brent, when we worked on 5-on-0 underneath, guys always make shots in games because we end that play with a shot. And that was just good basketball by Cameron Clark.
Embiid, jump hook off the front of the iron, snapped down by Clark. Here come the Sooners again, looking for a tie or lead with a three. It'll be Healed on the attack on Embiid, and off the miss, Wiggins rebounds. Tharp quickly. It's 5-on-4. Tharp's going to take it on in, and he's going to be on the free throw line.
That time, Buddy Hield not only gambled, but he fouled Nadir Tharp in the backcourt. There was no call, but more importantly, Kansas was 5-on-4, and Tharp took it right to the basket, a heady play.
At the line, Nadir Tharp, shooting 2.
It's the first of the two. There you see back on January 8th. They shot 55%, the Jayhawks did, at a plus 14. So the Sooners here tonight have turned in a much better defensive effort. But it's still going to be uphill against this Jayhawk talent. Clark outside. Cousins couldn't control it. Ellis does for Kansas. Selden loads Embiid.
Good double team that time. I like the idea that Tharp was pushing it. Tried to get Embiid, couldn't do it.
Selden. High rebound. Spangler had great position on that particular play. Cousins will bring it down for the Sooners. Shot clock's coming down inside 10 now for Woodard. Tharp stays with him. Ball's knocked away. Woodard's got 4 left. Hornbeak got to go to work. One hand off front of the iron. Battle for the rebound, and there's a foul. Hornbeak is diving in after it. And he helps Ellis up.
Good possession by Kansas. They stymied 4 or 5 opportunities for Oklahoma to drive.
The Bracket Builder Week continues with a Super Tuesday doubleheader on ESPN. The #1 team in the nation, the Florida Gators, will take on Vanderbilt. That'll be in the SEC. And then the Big Ten game, Indiana and Wisconsin.
Busy week for Indiana, Brent, because they have to make that game up with Iowa in Assembly Hall on Thursday night.
Is that right? They're
yeah.
going to make that one up?
Yep. Tuesday, Thursday for.
They're coming off a weekend game up in Evanston.
Yep.
They beat Northwestern. Up by 6 are the Jayhawks right now, 4:43. Wiggins is a fine defensive player.
Sure
Sticking
is.
right with Cousin. Now he helps switch off. Got to get back on his man. And Cousin, he did not get there quite in time after he helped, but he's still an outstanding defensive player.
Oklahoma's one of those teams that not only makes the 3, but they make the long 2 also.
Ellis on the drive. Batted Oklahoma basketball.
Right.
Spangler on the drive on Embiid. And the foul is going to be called. Embiid. So that will bring Spangler to the free throw line. 3 on Embiid.
Boy, Brent, Spangler made a great play just to tip that ball to his teammates. Take a look at this, Brent. He can't come up with the ball, but watch him just tip it to a teammate, and then he ends up running the floor, and he's the recipient of the 2 free throws.
He makes the Big 12 all hustle team.
It would not, you know what? It's going to be, he probably won't be first team all Big 12.
I said hustle team.
Yeah, I know that. But
that's
he's
next
not
week's lunch.
No, that's not. We'll get to that. Yeah. And I'll tell you, on that team I have, he's right there as my 6th man.
And there's a good looking effort player. Missed that second free throw. OU still down by 3. Inside of 4 minutes now.
See, I'm giving up jump shots now. If I'm Oklahoma, I take the calculated risk. Nothing to the rim.
There's the jump shot. You were right. Into Woodard's hands. Good call, Fran. Now let's see what they come up with offensively.
Well, the blind squirrel finds an acorn every now and then.
That happens to be occasionally, too. But Embiid jumped out on him. Hornbeek on the drive, turns it over.
I'll tell you
Headman here, start coming in on Woodard. Goes to the left hand for the score.
Well, that's Ron Kruger's not going to be happy with that, and it's the same official. Yeah.
He's got a timeout.
I thought he was going to get a technical. It's been the same guy 3 straight possessions.
Kruger said you've got to call that. He just told Tommy O'Neill you cannot let that go.
Well, down the stretch of a game, take a look right now. You see the whack right there? Now that leads to Kansas getting out in transition, and that's going to be a finish. We talked about tonight, Kansas is really good when they turn you over and get into the open court. And they are still discussing that play.
The entire coaching staff of Oklahoma is upset that the foul was not called on that play that led to that run out by Tharp at the other end. The Jayhawks up by 5. It was a big moment. And of course, I remind you that on Tuesday, ESPN2 features the only undefeated team in the country. Wichita State will take on Bradley. And so that'll be live at 9 p.m. Eastern. And that's on ESPN.
Tell you what, Brent, they have a terrific point guard, Greg Marshall does. Fred VanVleet, he's one of the most underrated players in the country. He runs the team, he can score, he's an outstanding defender, plays with toughness, and he hasn't lost a game since last April.
Crowd finally starting to feel it here in the Allen Fieldhouse. Sooners need something positive to happen. They're down 5. We're at that 3-minute mark. Remember when we said Bill Self had 2 timeouts left?
How about that?
Embiid blocks Spangler over in the corner. Look at him put the ball on the deck.
Wow.
Wide opens Wiggins. Nails it.
They gained a little bit of confidence from that mini run. It's been turnovers turned into scoring.
Clark off the front of the iron. Cousins with a big offensive rebound. And comes up with the field goal, and Embiid hit his hand. Embiid hit a finger coming over on. There is no question he's injured. I don't know how badly it is, but he's headed over toward that bench. Let's take a look at this right now. Keep an eye on number 21, Embiid. Watch him come up. Hit that bottom of that rim with his hand, and he clutched it immediately.
Yeah.
You can see he stuck it right into the iron.
There it is one more time. How about the block and then running
Staying
the floor?
In, Fran. Staying in. That's a good sign over there.
I mentioned this a couple times tonight, Brent. He's just been really, really active. Oklahoma's done a terrific job of defending him, but he's been very good both ways with his effort and energy.
Jayhawks up by 6 and 2:20 to go. Been a gutty effort so far by the Sooners in here. But do they have enough to get over the considerable mount that exists here at the Allen Fieldhouse. Wiggins runs the baseline, comes out on the right for Tharp. Now he keeps going over to the left. Tharp, fade.
Yep.
Got the roll.
This is the kind of Nadir Tharp Bill Self needs the rest of the season. Came into tonight in a shooting slump.
Healed up a good ball fake. Knocks down a 3-ball. How big is that?
I think if you're Oklahoma, Brent, you give this one more possession without fouling.
That's 16 for Heald here tonight now. Remember, he was quiet for a time in the second half. Jayhawks eat some time.
Timeout called Kansas.
Now, Kansas wants a timeout with 17 on the shot clock. Self told O'Neal when he wanted it. 5-point lead coming down to the 1-minute mark here. One timeout still in his pocket.
I'd be surprised if it goes inside. I think what they'll do is spread the floor and then let Nadir Tharp operate in space.
You can see that balanced scoring that we have had tonight from the Jayhawks up there. So with the 17 on the shot clock, Kansas can bring it down to that 1-minute mark. But you're saying don't foul in this situation.
I wouldn't foul here. And what I would do is get the stop, push it quickly, try to get the quick score, call timeout, and then play the comeback game of pressing, trying to steal, foul.
But first things first is to stop them.
Stop the ball. You know, obviously you must secure a defensive rebound. If you're Bill Self right now, I trust Nadir Tharp. Get him in space, maybe high pick and roll.
He's going to take the inbound. Wiggins can't quite get it now. He's going to give it to him. So Tharp's got it. He's in control right now.
See, they open the floor for him.
Jump into the lane and score. You called it.
You watch these guys enough, you know what their bread and butter is.
Now it's 7. Now we're inside of a minute. Now the Sooners have to hurry here.
That's right.
Almost lost it. Spangler gets it back now. On the drive, Woodard, and he's on the free throw line. Now we're going to take a media break here. And that's big with the clock stopped and the Sooners coming up to the free throw line when you come back. Well, I'm reminded that just as soon as we finish, we're going to take it to SportsCenter. Dirk beats the buzzer. Syracuse survives after losing those 2 games to BC and Duke. And the Clowney question. Let me tell you one thing, folks. If you haven't seen him run the 40 for a defensive end, check it out. Check it out. And here, the Jayhawks are 46.7 seconds away from their 10th consecutive Big 12 championship. Woodard on the free throw line, though, says, hold on now. Don't give Holly Rowe another ring. Remember, we opened up the show. She had those 9. It was Mama Bling over there.
One for the other thumb.
Yeah, she's going to get one for the other thumb here, perhaps. Rattles out, and Embiid is fouled.
It's a good foul right there. Although the starting 5 for Kansas tonight, 19 of 21 from the free throw line, but Embiid under 70% on the season.
If you joined us a little bit late, you wonder, what is he talking about? There, folks, those are 9. Okay, look at that. 9 championship rings over there.
One for the thumb.
You know what's interesting? There's a stat we haven't used tonight that I find fascinating. Bill Self has never lost a Big Monday game in this building. 17-0 on Big Monday here at the Allen Fieldhouse, closing in on number 18. Closing in on his 10th Big 12 championship. An incredible run.
I got one for you.
Yes, sir.
Kansas is 28-1 overall on Big Monday.
On Big Monday?
Yeah.
Who beat him? Who was it? Iowa State got him.
Yep.
That was back in 2001. How smart I am.
Yep.
Straight for the truck tells me. Hield guns the three. 38 seconds to go now. And another Big 12 championship at hand. And this crowd is going to come to its feet right now. They know what's at stake here.
You talk about consistency, Brent. You know, it was about 11 years ago when Roy Williams went to North Carolina after an incredible run here. People were worried about what would happen, who the next coach would be, and could they sustain the success.
And Bill Self, look at that, huh? There they are. Back to back to back. And of course, they're in a battle. That's why this is bracket builder week. And they're trying to build a resume to be a #1 seed. Joey Brackets, better known as Joe Lenardi at ESPN. He says that Bill Self in Kansas right now has a 2. He says that Wichita could get a 1 if they wind up undefeated. Who's the last regular season undefeated? Was that St. Joe's?
St. Joe's, yep.
Back in the early 2000s. They won, I think, about 27-0. Do you know who beat them in the regional final?
Oklahoma State.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Good. I knew you'd know
yep. In the Meadowlands.
30 seconds to go. And the 3 ball is knocked down by Clark. So a full timeout by the Sooners. They've got 27 seconds. They're down by 6 points. Pretty amazing. Probably 56 points scored here tonight on that shot. 9 consecutive Big 12 regular season titles. This would be number 10. And they've won 6 of the last 8 Big 12 tournament titles. We'll be checking that out. You mentioned Roy Williams there on the right. And Bill Self, who moved to Kansas from Illinois, just kept it going. And 23-plus wins for 24 consecutive seasons. When you look back at what Bill Self has accomplished here, it is just absolutely amazing. Averaging 30 wins a season. This is his 11th year here. And he lost his starting lineup last year.
Yeah.
And he just rebuilt it.
Bill Self came here as a grad assistant back in 1985 to a guy named Larry Brown.
I've heard of him.
And I don't know whatever happened to the guy. What happened to that guy?
Can he still coach?
I think he can. He's got SMU.
Done a great job at SMU. They swept Connecticut.
They did. They went into stores.
A lot of people thought they were going to lose big in stores the weekend, but they did not.
You know, they're not always right, those people.
Have you noticed?
Huh?
But more often than not.
Well, obviously the situation is here. You press, you try to steal it quickly, and you foul right away. And as we mentioned earlier, Kansas is starting 5 tonight, but very accurate from the foul line. And this guy,
Tharp's hands, and he got away from Woodard, and now coming over his Cousins, putting back on the foul line. 24 seconds to go here. Your impressions of Tharp as a point guard, sir, as we approach tournament time?
You know, he came here to be a backup. They had nobody else this year. He's really the key to the team, Brent. And it's a lot of pressure on him because if he does not play well, Kansas usually does not play well also.
Well, right now, he has 18, and he's 5 of 5 at the free throw line. That's a good game offensively.
Absolutely, and he doesn't necessarily have to score, because I think the biggest thing he's got to improve on, Bill Self has harped on this from day one, he's got to be a better defender on the ball. He's not a junkyard dog on defense.
6 assists tonight. I should say, Chuck, they 5 assists, but I think more importantly, only 1 turnover. Did not turn the ball over tonight. They got in a little bit of foul trouble. That's why he didn't log every minute. And so he sat on the bench. He had 3 fouls. And they got some minutes out of Frank Mason. The Sooners will need to hurry. So it'll be Clark's turn to shoot the long ball. And it goes over to the Sooners. 13 seconds left. It's going to be 10 in a row. Just as soon as we finish, we're headed for SportsCenter.
And good effort by Oklahoma, a team already with 20 wins. Young team. 3 sophomores and a freshman in the starting lineup. They battled tonight in a tough place.
Yes, they did. 10 in a row. 83-75. Kansas wins another Big 12 championship. Coming up next, SportsCenter for Fran Fraschilla and Holly Rowe. I'm Brent Musburger. Thanks for joining us tonight, folks. We'll say so long from Lawrence, Kansas, where the Jayhawks have done it again. Let's send you to SportsCenter.